Ba weep grana weep ninny bong.
Ba weep grana weep mini bong. Ba weep grana weep mini bong.
Welcome back to the Tire Maker. This is Mike coming at you with the new 3-pack of Junkions from Newage. They call it the 75A. Well, Snow, Swan, and Cowboy. Now, I'm going to try to keep them in name order, I guess. I don't even know if I've got them in the right order, but we're going to check them out, and it doesn't really matter because we're going to get 3 more, and then there's the shattered glass ones, which I'm a little on the fence about, but pretty excited for these. These look pretty good for what they're doing, and we'll talk about the good, the bad, plus, minus, all that good stuff, of course. But I did get these from Shows You Store. I have a link down below where you can get yours too. $150 for 3 figures, makes it $50 a figure, yes, Legends, and it's cheaper than their Rec-Gar. So anyway, let's get into looking at these 3. Take a look at them on this fun Monday. Monday Fun Day coming up. Here's the packaging, and it looks pretty good. Kind of G1-esque, but you know, in the Japanese style. Oddly in the front, it's kind of just like a white line drawing kind of thing. Is that how that's described? On the back, get a bit of an idea of a whole bunch of them riding each other. But that's very retro-esque on the side. Here's what it looks like in the package with the plastic and 3 figures in there. And then you're going to get all of the accessories. So I'm assuming, I'm just going to make assumptions that the way it's packaged, those accessories go with him, those go with him, those go with him. That's my assumption. Maybe it's easier to do it like this. But yeah, that's how I'm going to set it up. So let's get into that. Here they are right out of the box, and I feel like I'm looking down on them. Didn't adjust my tripod down low. This is as low as it's go. I got to adjust it lower. I think it's fine. It'll work. So right out of the box, this is how they look, and I think they look good. I'm pretty pleased and happy with them. So I'm going to go over a couple of things real quick before we get into it all. But they have this sticker that's covering their sack. Oh, should I say sack? Okay. Their nuts. Their crotch. Okay, crotch. The crack? Front, no. Crotch. Okay. So let's get that sticker QC. They all passed QC, and they really want you to know they're excited about it. That's funny. That's funny. Maybe not. And then another thing is, and this is, I have to admit, like I like to put them on my shelf, look at them. I don't mess with mine after the review a whole lot, especially since there's other stuff to review the very next day. This, when you pull this off, I stick it over here. So I store it over here so that I don't lose it. And then, because you got one on each knee, and then I can plug the wheel in. I can wheelie push that in there. Ideally, you'd have a way to plug it to the other side of the wheel, but that's not how it is. And I will say this. Now, after, it's been a couple months since I've reviewed Rec-Gar, a few months, and I think that this design has definitely held up really well. So these 3 figures look good. And like I've said in the past, I wanted to, on one hand, do this with the KFCs at like 100 each, 109 each. I think now they're wanting like 120 each when they reissue them, which gets a bit expensive. 50 is still a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still a lot. And I would have gone the Hasbro route at 35 each, but even those are going to go up to 43, and they've stopped making technically these. They do other kind of offshoots and just repaint them and call them Junkions. So this is true blue G1 Junkions, and you're going to get a lot. Right out the gate, we're going to be at 7 ones that would work for the movie, for the 86 movie, and then you're going to get 3 repaints into Shattered Glass. So I don't know how many more Shattered Glass repaints they're going to do or they choose to do, but that's the overall of this set. And let's just start getting into some details. All right, I believe this is the one that is Snow, and he also has a sort of a rap song called Informer. So he's on the top of the charts he was on the top charts for 2 months, 3 days with Informer. But if you remember that, well then, awesome. If not, well, you're confused as heck. So he does carry over some stuff from Rec-Gar, like the wheels Very similar to the Wreck-Gar wheels, if not exactly the same. But then the color scheme's different, which is very nice. Kind of the same little twirly fan thing he's got going on there. Spinning saw doesn't have the gun, although there is a gun, so not 100% sure who's supposed to have the gun, and his hands are supposed to move. Okay, so there's that. Changing up the head a bit, so it looks kind of good. And the chest is changed up. Still the similar type of design on how it goes. I'm curious, actually, how much is retooled in all of this, and how much the transformation is going to be different. It's just tad bit, I think, not a lot. So it looks great. Got the tamper graphing right there. The different colors of orange, as to where his is red. So I will do a better kind of comparison, well, different kind of comparison. But I'm just, for me, I'm still just trying to figure out myself what's all different. So he's got these little metal looking, well, silver. It's not metal. All this is plastic. There's no metal in here except for the screws. So, and the pins. Okay, the pins are metal also too. And the saddlebags are darker gray. But it looks good. I don't feel like it's painted head to toe, but it's got a nice sheen to it. So it might be painted head to toe, but I feel like it's more just a sheen on the plastic, because usually it sparkles a little more than that, but not bad looking. We got snow down. Now we need Swan song. I think the coloration, actually the last two, the colorations match the Wreck-Gar a little bit more. So as you can see the colorations, but as you can also see, a huge breakup in where they allocate those colorations. I think the waist is all the same, 100%. That brown. All right, so I gave him the gun and the sword because it just seemed like he didn't have much, and the last one's just gonna have a twirly thingy, so maybe he deserves a gun. But they were putting little compartments, shared compartments. So I don't know who gets what or care. I guess instructions might show that, but okay, again, it doesn't bother me. I did the same maneuver with the spike on him. He does have more of a Wreck-Gar head, but the face is different. He doesn't have facial hair. Do robots have facial hair? It's not hair. It's like energon. Energon residue. Is it kind of like hard water that builds up? When hard water builds up, in a way, you get that scaling. That might be what it is. It's the growth due to hard energon. It's a kidney stone. All right, it's enough. But he's got these little pieces that Wreck-Gar doesn't have, and they're different than those. So that's something different. So got some different stuff going on here. And with that, kind of a cool color scheme. And it's different enough to be worthwhile, I guess you could say. Different enough to be worthwhile. Let's bring in this last one here, who is... And I know these look very similar to ones that the KFC had done, although I didn't investigate like all the names get tied to the different versions. I guess I can do that. Start doing that soon. Now, this looks exactly the same as that first one, except paint is different. Like he's got a set of gray right there. He's got brown, but he's got silver spiky things going on. He's got close. It's a variation of that other dude's head, but a different face. So, and there's no swappable faces, thank God, because they're so small. I'd lose them. I would definitely lose them. He's got this spike tire on here, which I always thought was interesting. Point, as they're all built from just scraps, but yet somehow they make the same motorcycle. They're built from scraps, but yet they have enough of that same motorcycle shell to work into each figure. That's excellent. They did a good job of finding the correct scrapyard to occupy. And there it is. There is supposed to be some spikiness to these wheels that do spin when connected. And he's got one of these twirly thingies and nothing else. Now, I guess you could give him the gun, or you can give him the sword or something else if you want him to hold something else. That would work. And there we go. I guess the next thing would be some articulation. So this was Cowboy. By the way, I didn't say that. So since we left off with Cowboy, we're going to pick up with Cowboy and get his articulation. So head side to side, up and down. I guess it is ball jointed. It's a really good ball joint, and they know how to make a Silverhawk figure already. The head, Super 7 doesn't yet, but they'll learn eventually. You've got a butterfly a little bit of a butterfly going on here. It feels like, well, or maybe it's a reverse butterfly. There it goes. All right, so that goes up. No, I guess it's not a butterfly at all. Well, you have a reverse butterfly from the transformation, so we know that. But anyway, double joint, nope, single jointed elbow. You got the cut right here for the bicep swivel. You have a movable hand, but it's no, no articulation in the hand. Really, waist swivel, ab crunch. They're trying to take out Magic Square, and I guess I will have a discussion about that here in just a second. If you get the saddlebag out of the way, now you can actually move this saddlebag and get the full range, which is a great way to do the saddlebags, by the way. Fantastic way. I mean, you have options. Options are always great. However you want to do that, saddlebagging, by swivel, and not double jointed at the knee, which is not the end of the world. But and you have articulation here, and it transforms. So there it is. Ankle tilt. That works. Yeah, that's what he's got. You can get whatever poses you pretty much need out of this guy. And I did want to point out, since, I mean, not everybody's going to watch my Rekgar review. They'll just watch this. That little piece plugs into there. There's nothing really to do with that piece, I think, in alt mode, I believe, if I remember correctly, when we go to alt mode. But, yeah, it still plugs back into the side of the arm, the inside of the arm, or the side of the knee. And there goes Cowboy. And same articulation on all of them, including Rekgar. Oh, come on, Rekgar. All right, we are going to do comparisons. I'm trying to figure out how to do this the best. There's a lot of bulkiness with it. But there's the Rekgar. It's the same. It's 3 more Rekgars with different, well, extreme retooling to the chest and some other areas, and then no retooling to basically the waist and legs and all that, just recolored. And the shoulders are retooled, the heads are retooled, chests, waist, but, well, right above the waist, so the abdomen area. Anyway, I think it's pretty cool that they're doing them. I think they look pretty good. The other thing I want to do is show them with the McFans toys also. And as you can see, he's a little bit taller and a lot cheaper. I think he was only like $26 or $31 or something like that, which for a Legends, for no paint, and these do feel and look way more premium than the McFans toys. But at the end of the day, when you're kind of done and it's all on a shelf, the McFans toys will fit in, mix in just fine as an 1/8 one of these, and it's great. I will also point out that McFans Toys has a really cheap, just one piece for this, as they have a nice little spinning piece. A fan. It's hot out there on the planet of junk, but that is another difference. And see if we can see a lot of other differences. The design's different. He does have double jointed legs and I think elbows on the McFans Toys though. Yeah, so you get some stuff which doesn't really make a difference to me, especially in Legends, but it makes a difference to other people. And so that's a thing. The other problem though, if you go with McFans Toys, is I think they're, I don't want to say defunct, I just think they just aren't putting out anything right now. So that's an issue. All right, here's a couple other figures. I do believe, oh man, I'm at a loss. I think this one is the Newage. It's got a little sheen to it that Magic Square wouldn't put on it. So you can kind of get a size comparison. Didn't want to completely block the figures, but at the same time I wanted you to see how they looked. And so this is in the comparison segment, and then I'm going to get into a quick discussion segment. When you're dealing with Legends, there's really only 2 major competitors, and it's Magic Square versus Newage. Now, Magic Square usually wins me in the design, so I can be excited about the design, but they can't hold a candle to paint and presentation from Newage. And so, as you can see, I still kind of like the design of Magic Square's hoist more than Newage's hoist design-wise. but the presentation sort of puts it over the top. I never was a fan of kind of like this bar. The details on what's going on with these two figures just represent the ongoing continual pluses and minuses and debate and discussion that we can have in the Legends space. Now, when it comes to the Junkions, that discussion is completely shattered. I don't see another company doing a better one. I don't see Magic Square coming out with a Junkion that I like tremendously more. And even if I like it 5% more, I think Newage, they jumped on the bandwagon really fast, and they got there. They delivered a great looking product, and I don't see me needing to get 7 or 8 or 9 of Magic Square doing them, especially if Magic Square does them at like, 50 to 70 each. Now if the Magic Square puts them out like 25 each, I might bite. But the point of it is that I think these are that good that they kind of feel like they fit in with Magic Square. They have that Magic Square kind of look, in my opinion, and they've got great articulation, and they have the presentation. So I'm actually very, very pleased. And even if it just stopped right here and I just put these on a shelf, I'm very pleased with what they've done. 50 is a bit much, but that's kind of the direction that Legends have gone, especially Newage with the level of paint and all the stuff they put into it. But it does beat 120 each at Masterpiece scale. All right, so I did his transformation. Didn't put this sticker back in here. And I did forget one step with the hips. And I was like, oh, that's why you do that step with the hips. So when you learn stuff the hard way, you remember it, I hope. Learn, well, pull all this stuff off. And I do think, I guess as I do more of these, I'm going to be like, well, you might be able to leave this on. I don't know. But right now, don't lose any of that. Just keep it. All right, so we're going to do the same basic stuff that we always do, where we fold the hands in and fold the hands in. And then I'm going to go ahead and get the hips out of the way. So fold these back. And then you're going to flip this around and fold it down. And then that's going to give you room for this. And I'm going to do that just so I don't forget, because that's the part that I forgot. It's not a hard transformation. It's just, don't forget this little step. All right, next we are going to pull this back to untab that. So then we can pull this out. Well, basically with it untabbed, we can pull all this up. Okay, let's separate this first. I don't think that makes a difference. Okay, that's up now. This should be able to come up right there. And then from here, we're going to do a couple of things. We are going to flip, which I don't know if this is going to make any difference. Yeah, that is going to make a difference. Get that out. So this is something that's a little bit different. Let me look at the Rekgar. See, the Rekgar shoulders didn't have that. So they were just like standard shoulders. So they do a few things a little bit different to, I don't know, just because they added different parts to it. So not sure if that's going to make much of a difference at all in this whole transformation, but anyway, it's still kind of fun. This is all going to come out. We can lift this up, and we're going to do this other arm. So we're going to bring it in. And I believe we're going to need that on the bottom. I can mess with that here in just a minute. We are going to fold this to where this can kind of go down a bit. And have that like so. Let's get these kind of pushed to the side right there. And now we need to get this head through all of this, but we have to extend this front, form that, and get this through here. And watch out for the little antennae. Then this is going to come down and seat into that little area there. This tabs in right here. Pretty nice. And then we kind of have that front end sort of done. And so with that, I'm not 100% sure if this here is going to work. Everything's going to work just fine when the legs come around, because I haven't done this one yet. So just did the other one. So we'll see how that works. It is interesting how they do this, how these little parts, and it integrates on the other one too, but in a different way. So, all right, so we got the saddlebags back here in the back. We can form the saddlebags, fold this piece here out, and then flip the saddlebags around and tuck them in. Same thing on the other side. Flip this piece out, fold the saddlebag around, and tuck it in. There's that. All that's good. We can kind of lift it up a bit and gain some access to down here and what we're going to be doing with all of this fun stuff. So we are going to open up. So I guess we'll flip this direction and fold this down, and then we got to open up this side panel. Once you open the side panel here, you press down right there, and that's going to open this, and then pull this out. Then we can close this side panel back up. This foot will collapse like so. We'll go in and collapse like so. It's going to tab to the other side. We're just going to do the same thing, and then we're going to push down on that so we can bring this around. Okay, that's got to come all the way around, and then we got to get the right angle and all that. But we're going to plug them all in at the same time. But I'm just going to test and see, because it's kind of interesting how they've made these minor changes. Will that hold into place right there, which is interesting, or should it be all the way on the bottom like that? I think it's going to be more like that. Interesting. All right, let's move this around here. Let's do all the same fun stuff that we did, where we can open this all up, fold this out, in, push to the bottom to get that out, push to the bottom to get that out and around, close this down, fold it like so, fold on this joint right there, and it's pretty tight, which it needs to be to hold the figure up. And then we have to arch it just right. Then we need to come around here. We're going to plug this in right here in the center piece, which I don't know if should you get it into here first and then plug it in. Okay. I feel like I have these facing different ways on the arm. Feels like it's different. Okay, and then at this point we want to kind of straighten it out, but we want to put a wheel in. Doesn't really matter. You can put it in now, and then it'll also add some stability of tabbing together, some tabbing togetherness. Then this comes back here, tabs in, and then I guess should just be like that. And then we need to put the wheel in the front. Okay, this wheel, I have that cover on it, so just take the cover off, get it in here. You know, and I start to wonder about the orientation of these forearms because of the fact that you have the holes in both sides. That's what always gets me on this transformation, is the orientation of the forearms. Because you could sort of flip the forearms around a little bit. I just checked the box. Everything looks like it matches the picture on the box, which the instructions picture is just like a line drawing. So it's, that's not, knocked the tire off. Real rubber tires getting knocked off. Not KO'd. Bumped and moved off. All right, so that's about the gist of this thing. I'll mess around with it a little bit, and then we'll come take a look at them. Now let's look at these two guys in their alt modes, and as you can see, they look different. There's some different colorations to them, and they've gone out of their way to separate out and make sure things look different. That's really good, and real junkiani of them. but with this black Tampo versus red, they both have that similar color scheme. The seats gray, that one's black. These probably have a closer color scheme to, well, themselves, and I guess Rekgar. This guy's is a little bit different. There's a couple of different differentiations in them, but let's go around and look. First off, those pieces that folded out, they actually do kind of show as another detail in the motorcycle. And I was looking on the box, and the box showed that also. Nice that you can just check it, like you see the little details right there. But I wonder if that was if I've got it in there the exact way they intend, like fold it up just a little bit, and it kind of wants to fall down. So anyway, still, it's kind of interesting how that element that they added to the shoulder translates over into the alt mode, motorcycle mode. The thing is that they do that a lot. Like, they're going to do a lot of that. So that's not just with this one, like the clear windshield. I like that. You can see the head, the way this is designed, you see the head, but it looks like it's part of the controls. And that's getting a little misshapen. All right. This one does the same thing. Like the shoulder spikes that I had pointed out kind of add what looks sort of like a bit of exhaust or something like that. Something that would be on a motorcycle, even though it's not, helping the motorcycle cycle or run. And also a nice little touch here is, if you look at it, like this little spiky thing seats in. There's a cutout of the plastic. I don't know if you can see it, but the plastic is, there's a groove they made for this to seat into it. Like, they thought that deep into it, even though, so I guess I might not have something aligned just right because it's not hitting that groove exactly. But yeah, it's a pretty good design that they've got on this, and so I'm sure, bump that out of place. I'm sure they went through the engineering on this quite a bit, because they're going to bang out probably more. I'm guessing they're going to bang out more Junkions than any other mold. Like, far more than Seeker, far more than anything else, in my opinion. It's my belief. We're already seeing 10 of them in the market right now, because there's 3 packs. It's 9, and then 10 of them. All right, so I specifically only transformed 2. And I did that for a very specific reason. Specific. I wanted to show these guys riding on their buddies. You know, they ride their buddies around. The reason I wanted to showcase that is because that's just a thing you can do. Now, I don't ever feel like, ever, that any Junkion transforming riding himself feels correct. I always feel like the motorcycle mode is a little too small for themselves. But in this case, it's a little. It's not a huge deal, but a little bit too small for riding themselves. But it still displays okay. It still displays fine. I don't really know how you'd go about it to achieve what they did in the cartoon, which is, I know what Legends and Masterpiece is supposedly all about. It's all about what did we get in the cartoon, bringing that to life. And this is close. I mean, this is really, really close. It's not exactly what we saw in the animation. I think the thing is, they're basing off a vintage toy, and the vintage toy still doesn't look good riding itself. Or at least, have I done that yet? Have I rode? Have I made them do that? A little embarrassing, isn't it? But no, I'm just kidding. They look good. I think it looks fine. I don't think that it's perfect, but I'm actually not sure how I'm going to display them once I get nine of them together. 7 of them. I think that's 7. I'm committing to 7 for sure. The 2 3-packs, which is 6, and then the Rekgar. But anyhow, I also want to say that I did take, well, they just fell off when I was putting them on, and I just didn't. But I took these off, or left them laying off while I'm just putting. I would say that you'd probably want to do like whatever arm is down is the one that's going to not have these on it. You want to put like an arm that's up or something to have those on it. But it starts getting real cluttered with the shield and the wheel and all that if it's on the same side. And so you'd want to like you want to work on that. Like, that's something you'd want to put some thought into if you're building a display and all of that. We got one more thing to talk about. Lastly, we've also got the mech Fans Toys one. Riding him, he is taller. It's a little bigger, so it might look a little bit more odd. But he also has double jointed knees, so you can pivot that knee anywhere you want. And yeah, he's falling off there a little bit, but that's another thing. I also want to point out that I didn't point this out before. You can connect, like the hand fits perfectly over that handle, and that offers a little bit more stability. As to where the McFans Toys hand, the hole is it's too big. It's too big of a hole. It helps a little bit, but it's not like the death grip you can get with this guy's, the official, the Newage. Official, none of this is official. Come on. It's unofficial, third party. And I love it. This is my look at the Newage H75A Snow, Swan, Cowboy. Yes, I did not show that guy in all mode. Maybe I'll toss a picture up so you can see the differences. But I mean, they did make differences in each one. And I think I'm going to display mine crazy all in bot mode, which is crazy. And then they'll be riding other iterations of motorcycles. So it's something that will happen in the future. I'm not there yet, but I'm looking into it, how I'm going to do all that. But I did get these at Shozy Store. I've got the other 3-pack coming and possibly the Shattered Glass on the fence on that. I have a link down below where you can get yours. They are about $50 each, so it's a $150 pack of 3. And get them while you got them. Newage makes a whole bunch of different variations, but they don't seem to rerun the old stuff. So once these are sold out, it seems like they're gone forever, and you might get a different variation in the future. But let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and TH helps support the reviewer at Shozy Store. Tell you to hang around.